Hello, everyone, and welcome to Coffee with Carrie, where I talk to the people who make Bloomfield Township the best place to live, work, and play. And today I am very delighted to have my guest, Neal Barnett.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
And Neal has been one of our trustees, elected official, since February of 2004. And so you'll be beginning your 21st year, your sixth election you said you were just through.
Just had my sixth election, and I was pleased that it went so well. That's why I'm here with you.
Yes, that's right. Indeed. But so tell me a little bit about like when you first started. How did you become a trustee?
It's a great question. Actually, I started as trustee because I served as Homeowners Association president, Oakland Hills Country Club subdivision, for 8 years. And gave me a lot of exposure to the township, worked and collaborated with township supervisor, different department heads, mostly because of the events, the golf events that impacted our neighborhood, and again, collaborated with the township on those. So as a result, got a lot of experience. When a unfortunate situation happened, one of our trustees died. I was selected to be his replacement.
Okay. I didn't know you were a golfer. Are you a golfer?
I am not a
You're
golfer.
not. So how do you end up doing all of that because of the surrounding neighborhood?
Right. Right. And so worked out really well, and then I ran that November for my first full term as a trustee.
Yeah.
And I've been, as we just mentioned, going on to my sixth term.
And so you don't get paid enough to have this be your profession. So what do you do professionally?
I'm an attorney, mostly in the areas of trusts and estates and real estate, and have been doing that for 35 years. In addition to that, prior to becoming an attorney, I'm a licensed psychologist, which I don't practice since I've become an attorney, but it certainly comes in handy with my background. And the other thing I'll mention, as far as my experience with the township, prior there was a gap between being a homeowners association president, and then I was selected to become a member of the ZBA for the township. So it was the background of being on the ZBA, and then again collaborating with the township that gave me the experience to be appointed as a trustee.
And it's a lot of a big time commitment, I'll say. So what makes you, what inspires you to do this work?
Oh, I enjoy it so much, giving back to the township, making the township a better place. I love Bloomfield Township. Lived here since I was in middle school, seeing how it's become more of a family community, and again, it's like a turnover again to see new families moving in and the children, younger children, which is just great, and trying to make it something that's really attractive to families, and it is terrific. And I just want Bloomfield Township to be the best place it can be, and I'm sure we'll talk a little about that.
Well, sure. But maybe can you give us like kind of the broad view of what a trustee does for people that don't know? And there's four of you, right?
There are four trustees. Part of what we do is present policy and review policy, and therefore financial input for the supervisor. And part of it also is just to give recommendations to the supervisor for finances, policy, vision, where the township should be. So ultimately, there's three administrators, of course, the supervisor, clerk, and treasurer, but the trustees really are there for support and to give additional input.
Let's talk a little bit about that support and what goes on behind the scenes, because I know that I've called you when I've wanted different counsel, because I've been only at in the township now 2.5 years, so I still have a lot to learn. So I know that we rely on that sometimes. So, and it probably changes a little bit from different administrators. But talk about like where else do you provide support?
Well, for me, I have much more of a foundation, I must say, than other trustees because of my background prior, being on the ZBA. I've been on the Planning Commission almost 20 years, so it gives me additional background. So as things come up, I get a lot of calls, emails from residents regarding issues that come up and they would like to get answers or have some things corrected. So I work with them and know who to contact within the administration, within department heads, people who work for department heads, because basically I know everybody, and which is helpful in trying to take care of any issues that come up. Behind the scenes also is working with department heads, working with other staff to know what's going on and be there as a resource. And it's certainly incumbent on trustees to get to know how different departments are run, and to be really do as good a job as possible as different agenda items come up to the board from the various departments.
So what do you see as some of the challenges ahead in 2025?
Well, some of the challenges are actually some of the very exciting things for the township. I see the challenges and the exciting goals for the township for the next several years having to do with cultivating our relationships with Oakland County commissioners, with the Road Commission of Oakland County, with the state legislature, with our surrounding communities. Fortunately, we have a supervisor now in place who already has the experience in working with all of these different entities, all the communities, and I think the township as a whole is going to benefit from this, because it will only enhance our services. Hopefully we can have more collaborations financially. Hopefully we will be able to get more support financially from the legislature, which we have not, which has kind of fallen off. And again, to me, it's all about providing the best services possible. And I think we're in a place where we're going to be working on that very diligently to make sure that, again, we have the best relationships possible to do that. So
I guess a follow-up question is, what do we have to look forward to? Kind of the same, kind of a little bit of the same.
Yeah. Well, I know that it's important to me, and certainly important to many of the other trustees and board members, to improve services. One of them to me, which is extremely important, and I know is important to a lot of the residents, has to do with the inferior service we're receiving from priority waste. This is something that I was adamantly against, that contract, adamantly against bringing them on as a vendor, and I'm very disappointed that they became our vendor, and I know many of our residents are disappointed. So I think we really need to make them much more accountable to the board, to the residents.
How much time is left on that contract?
Too much.
Too much time.
However, there's certainly language in there that they can be fined, they can be replaced if we wanted to. We could break the contract with notice. Unfortunately, they bought GFL.
Who was the prior vendor?
Who was the prior vendor. There are other vendors available, but I don't think we're at the point where we're going to we would discuss doing that. But I certainly would be open to, and actually would recommend, if services don't improve soon, to bring the owner in to the board to answer our questions and the concerns of the residents.
Right.
So that's one thing. And then also, I think it's very important, getting back to cultivating relationships, that we used to get together on a regular basis with the Road Commission of Oakland County and their senior staff on a quarterly basis. And with those relationships, our services were much better, particularly in the winter, as far as snow removal, because they were responsible for the major roads.
And we don't own them. We don't own our roads, right? We just we can continue to remind people of that, because I know that
you can't remind people enough.
Right, that's right. So we'll just stay on message. We don't own the roads, and we need to have that good partnership.
We need to have the great partnership, because particularly when you're talking about the mile roads, you're talking about Telegraph, you're talking about Woodward, they are responsible, but we want to be a priority for them to clear the roads, to salt the roads, to pre-treat the roads. And unfortunately, due to some not the best of relationships in the past few years. We have suffered, but the goal is we'll improve that.
Awesome. So any final thoughts as we wrap up?
Just that we're looking forward to some great new businesses coming into the township. Looking forward to the additional safety path development, which people love. It's great for seniors and people with young families to go for walks, and just look forward to the continued development and redevelopment of our great township, and look forward to hearing from residents as they have any concerns or questions.
So can they reach out to you directly? Do you like them to do that?
They're more than welcome to email me on my
Your township
my
email.
township email, and I do
Yes.
return those.
And we'll put up, and we can put up that email
That'd be
address
great.
for you, certainly. Well, I certainly want to thank you, not just for being here today, but for your many years of service to Bloomfield Township, and for personally your mentorship to me as I continue my path here in the township. And we really do appreciate you, Neal.
Thank you so much, Carrie, and thank you for all the great things that your department has done. I mean, last night's meeting was just phenomenal. The video that was presented in support of Martin Brook and all the workers for the campaign, as far as the voters and the precincts. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was just so fantastic.
Right. The energy was really great. So
Yes.
I will toast you, and we'll just say cheers, and
Cheers.
for more good times to come.
And
so,
a great new year.
all right. Thanks,
Thank
Neal.
you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time on Coffee with Carrie.